Jett, Han Seung-woo, or Jett, represents her home country of South Korea in Valorant. Her agile and evasive fighting style lets her take risks no one else can. She was one of the 3 duelists launched back in beta. Abilities. Her passive ability is called Drift. Holding the jump button while falling allows you to glide through the air. She has 2 basic abilities, Cloudburst and Updraft. Cloudburst instantly throws a projectile that becomes a brief vision-blocking cloud on impact with a surface. Holding the specific ability key allows you to curve the smoke in the direction of your crosshair. You get 2 charges of Cloudburst per round. Her second basic ability, Updraft, allows you to instantly propel high into the air. Jett has 1 charge of Updraft. Tailwind. Her signature ability is called Tailwind, and it is a boost to propel Jett in the direction she is moving. You can press the Activate button to prepare Tailwind to use it quickly for a limited time. Tailwind's charge resets every 2 kills. Ultimate. Bladestorm allows you to equip a set of highly accurate throwing knives. You can click fire to throw a single knife, and the knives recharge on a kill. You can also press alternate fire to throw all knives, but this does not recharge on a kill. Jett needs 8 points for her ultimate. Playstyle. Jett is a fast and agile agent who excels in taking duels, making space, and flanking enemies. Her entire kit is based around mobility to allow her to move around the map quickly and take out enemies from unexpected angles. Her Updraft allows you to evade dangerous situations and surprise enemies from different angles, while her Tailwind allows you to rush straight in and die, if you're as bad as me. Strengths: high mobility, strong dueling potential, flexible playstyle. Weaknesses: limited utility, vulnerable to crowd control, requires precise aim. Best team compositions: Omen or Brimstone to provide smokes for Jett's aggressive peeks and entries. Breach or Sova to gather information and help Jett with her entry fragging. Reyna or Skye for additional dueling power and healing support. Jett is an aggressive entry fragger who benefits from a team that can provide the necessary utility to create space for her plays. Controllers and initiators help set up her high-risk, high-reward engagements, while sentinels provide support. Best counters for Jett: Cypher. His tripwires can catch Jett off guard during her dashes. Astra. Her gravity well and concuss abilities can disrupt Jett's movement and force her out of advantageous positions. Raze. Her explosive abilities can punish Jett's predictable dash or updraft plays. Overall difficulty: medium. Her high mobility and potential for quick kills make her powerful in the right hands, but she requires good game sense, precise aim, and effective use of abilities to maximize her impact, which places her at a challenging yet manageable level for most players. If you're loving this video, make sure to subscribe for more guides. Now, on to the next duelist. Raze. Tayane Alves, or Raze, comes from Brazil with her big personality and even bigger guns. She has a really blunt force kit which excels at flushing entrenched enemies and clearing tight spaces. She was also one of the 3 duelists launched back in beta. Abilities: Boombot. Deploying the Boombot causes it to travel in a straight line on the ground, bouncing off walls. The Boombot will lock onto any enemies in its frontal cone and chase them, dealing heavy damage if it reaches them. Raze has 1 charge of Boombot. Blast Pack. It instantly throws a blast pack that will stick to surfaces. Clicking the ability button after deploying detonates it, which damages and moves anything it hits, including Raze herself. She has 2 charges of Blast Pack. Paint Shells. Her signature ability is called Paint Shells. It is basically a cluster grenade, which does damage and creates smaller munitions which explode too, doing damage to anyone in their range. Alternate firing the ability lobs it. It recharges every 2 kills. Showstopper. Her ultimate is a rocket launcher, which does massive AoE damage on contact with anything. Raze needs 8 points for her ultimate. Playstyle. Raze's playstyle revolves around aggression, area denial, and burst damage. She's designed to force enemies out of hiding, control space, and capitalize on her ability to deal massive damage quickly. Her abilities are all about creating openings, displacing enemies, and securing kills, making her a formidable force in any confrontation. Strengths: high burst damage. Area denial. Effective at clearing out entrenched positions. Weaknesses: limited mobility once you use her satchels. Abilities can be predictable, reliant on ability usage for impact. Best team compositions: Brimstone or Viper to control sightlines and help Raze with her explosive entries. Breach or Sova to gather information and set up her aggressive plays. Killjoy or Sage to hold sights and provide support while Raze takes aggressive positions. Raze's explosive playstyle is best supported by a team that can help her control space and capitalize on her area denial and damage potential. Best counters. Cypher. His tripwires and camera can detect Raze's movements, limiting her ability to surprise opponents. Jett. Her mobility can help her avoid Raze's explosives and engage on her own terms. Viper. Her area control can counteract Raze's explosive utility by limiting her movement and forcing her into predictable paths. Overall difficulty. Medium difficulty. Raze is relatively straightforward to play due to her powerful and direct damage abilities, but mastering the timing and positioning of her utility to maximize impact requires skill and experience. Phoenix. Hailing from the UK, Jamie Adeyemi, or Phoenix's star power, shines through in his fighting style, igniting the battlefield with flash and flare. He was the third and final duelist released in beta. Abilities. Blaze. It equips a flame wall. You can fire to create a line of flame that moves forward, which is essentially a firewall that blocks vision and damages enemies who pass it. You can hold fire to bend the wall in the direction of your crosshair. Curveball. It is an orb of flare that takes a curving path and detonates shortly after throwing. Firing throws the orb to the left, and alt-firing throws it to the right, and it blinds anyone who can see the orb, including enemies and allies, so you need to be careful with this. Hot Hands. Phoenix's signature ability is called Hot Hands, and it is a fireball which explodes a little while after throwing or hitting the ground. It creates a zone that damages enemies. Ultimate. Phoenix's ultimate is called Run It Back, and it instantly places a marker at his location. When the ultimate is active, dying or allowing the timer to expire will end the ability, and Phoenix comes back to the previously marked location with full health and the amount of armor he had when casting the ultimate. Phoenix requires 6 ultimate points to charge Run It Back. Playstyle. Phoenix's playstyle revolves around being a self-sustaining entry fragger who thrives in close quarters combat. He excels at taking control of key areas and initiating fights with his flashes and aggressive abilities. Phoenix's toolkit allows him to heal himself using his fire-based abilities, making him resilient in prolonged engagements. Strengths. Self-sustain with healing. Flashbangs for entry. Versatile abilities, offensive and defensive. Weaknesses. Limited range on abilities. Predictable playstyle. Flashbangs can backfire if not used carefully. Dependent on close-range engagements. Best team compositions. Omen or Brimstone to provide smokes and help Phoenix with his self-sustaining plays. Skye or KO to provide flashes and support Phoenix's entries. Breach or Reyna to complement Phoenix's aggressive plays with additional firepower and utility. Phoenix thrives in close-range engagements where he can make use of his healing and flashes. A team that can provide cover and support while Phoenix takes aggressive positions helps maximize his impact, especially in tight corners and when using his ultimates. Best counters. Astra. Her gravity well and concuss abilities can disrupt Phoenix's rushes, making it harder for him to capitalize on his flashes and healing. Killjoy. Her utility can zone Phoenix out and force him into less favorable positions. Breach. His crowd control abilities can disrupt Phoenix's engagements and prevent him from effectively using his flashes and healing. Phoenix's strength lies in his ability to take aggressive engagements and sustain himself. Agents who can control the space and disrupt his flow can counter his playstyle by forcing him into bad positions or interrupting his abilities. Overall difficulty, medium difficulty. Phoenix is user-friendly with straightforward abilities, but mastering his flash timings and using his ultimate effectively in higher-level play adds complexity. Reyna. Forged in the heart of Mexico, Xiana Mondragon, aka Reyna, dominates single combat, popping off with each kill she scores. Her capability is only limited by her raw skill, making her highly dependent on performance. She was released in patch 1.0. Abilities. Her basic ability is called Leer. It is a blinding ability similar to Phoenix's curveball, but is slightly different to his blind. Reyna's ethereal eye can be destroyed by shooting at it and can be sent through walls and obstacles. Enemies with the eye's line of sight are nearsighted, losing most of their vision. Devour. It constantly consumes a nearby soul orb and heals Reyna. Dismiss. It instantly consumes a nearby soul orb, and Reyna becomes intangible for a short duration. During this time, she can move around freely, but cannot shoot or use abilities. Ultimate. Empress. Reyna enters a heightened state of bloodlust for a limited time. During this state, her firing and reload speed are significantly increased, and both Devour and Dismiss abilities are automatically triggered by kills without consuming the Soul Orb. Empress lasts for 30 seconds but can be extended with kills. She requires 6 ultimate points for Empress. Playstyle. Reyna's abilities are heavily focused on her fragging potential. She's designed to take and win duels, with her abilities rewarding her for securing kills. The combination of healing, invulnerability, and enhanced combat effectiveness makes her a formidable opponent when she gets rolling. However, without kills, Reyna's utility for the team is limited, which makes her a high-risk, high-reward agent. Strengths: self-healing and invulnerability with kills, strong dueling potential, snowballing capability, minimal reliance on team utility, can dominate in 1v1 situations. Weaknesses: reliant on getting kills to be effective, limited utility for team support, predictable if abilities are not used creatively, can struggle without momentum. Best team compositions: Omen or Brimstone to provide smokes for safer entries and duels, Sova or Sky for information gathering and setting up duels, Breach or Phoenix for additional flashes and support in duels. Best counters: Sova. His recon abilities can prevent Reyna from safely peeking and getting her early kills. Killjoy. Her utility can control areas and force Reyna to fight on unfavorable terms. Raze. Her explosive abilities can zone Reyna out of cover and force her into bad engagements. Reyna's strength is in her ability to snowball by getting kills, healing, and repositioning. Agents who can reveal her position or control areas can disrupt her momentum and force her into less favorable fights. Overall difficulty: medium to high difficulty. Reyna is powerful in the hands of a skilled player who can consistently secure kills, but her reliance on fragging and lack of team utility make her harder to master, especially in coordinated play. Yoru. Kiritani Ryu, or Yoru, is a Japanese native who rips holes straight through reality to infiltrate enemy lines unseen. He was released in patch 2.0. Abilities: Fake Out. Yoru deploys a clone that moves forward in a straight line. When shot by an enemy or upon manual activation, the clone explodes and creates a flash that disorients enemies looking at it. Blindside. Yoru throws an unstable dimensional fragment that bounces off surfaces and explodes after a brief delay, blinding all enemies in its line of sight. Gatecrash. Yoru sends out a tether that travels forward in a straight line or can be placed at a specific location. Yoru can then teleport to the tether's location at any time. Ultimate. Dimensional Drift. Yoru enters a different dimension, becoming completely invisible and invulnerable to enemies for a limited time. While in this state, Yoru can freely move around the map and scout enemy positions. Dimensional Drift allows Yoru to gather information, infiltrate enemy lines, or set up for a surprise attack without being seen or harmed. It's an excellent tool for recon, flanking, or creating openings for his team. When exiting the ultimate, Yoru can immediately engage or reposition for a better angle. Playstyle. Yoru's playstyle is centered around deception, surprise, and flanking. His abilities are designed to create confusion and mislead enemies, allowing him to capitalize on their disorientation. Yoru excels at creating chaos and punishing opponents who are caught off guard. He requires a strategic mindset and creativity to maximize the effectiveness of his kit, making him a high-skill agent with the potential for big plays. Strengths: deceptive playstyle, strong flanking potential, ultimate for safe information gathering, versatile teleports for repositioning. Weaknesses: high skill ceiling for effective use. Abilities can be predictable if not used creatively. Requires precise timing and coordination. Vulnerable during ability usage. Best team compositions: Omen or Brimstone to provide smokes for Yoru's tricky plays. Sky or Breach for flashes and information gathering. Killjoy or Cypher to hold sights while Yoru flanks. Best counters: Cypher can detect and trap Yoru with his tripwires, revealing his location and thwarting his flanking attempts. Sova. His recon abilities can reveal Yoru's fake-outs and catch him off guard. Killjoy. Her utility can hold sights and detect Yoru's infiltrations, reducing the effectiveness of his flanks. Overall difficulty: high difficulty. Yoru demands a deep understanding of his abilities and timing, as well as creative strategies to outplay opponents, making him challenging to master. Neon. Tala Nicole Damapi Valdez, or Neon, is Filipino and surges forward at shocking speeds, discharging bursts of bioelectric radiance as fast as her body generates it. She was released in patch 4.0. Abilities: high gear. Neon channels her energy to increase her movement speed significantly. While in this state, she can also perform an electric slide, which can be used to quickly change direction or dodge enemy fire. Relay Bolt. Neon throws an energy bolt that bounces off surfaces. Upon hitting a surface, it releases a concussive blast in a small area, stunning enemies caught in the radius. Fast Lane. Neon projects two parallel walls of electric energy that extend in a straight line. The walls block vision and deal damage to enemies who pass through them. Ultimate. Overdrive. Neon unleashes her full power, allowing her to fire a continuous, precise beam of electricity that deals high damage to enemies. While using Overdrive, Neon's movement speed is enhanced, and the duration of the ultimate is extended with each kill. She needs 7 ultimate points for Override. Playstyle. Neon's playstyle is defined by her speed, aggression, and area control. She's built to take rapid engagements, rush onto sites, and disrupt enemy formations with her fast movement and stun capabilities. Her kit rewards players who can think on their feet, quickly adapt to changing situations, and use her speed to outflank or outpace enemies. Neon excels at breaking through defenses and creating chaos in the enemy ranks, making her a formidable duelist in the right hands. Strengths. High mobility and speed. Effective at closing distances quickly. Slide and ultimate for quick engagements. Weaknesses. Relatively low health. Vulnerable in long-range fights. High skill requirement for consistent impact. Best team compositions. Viper or Omen to create space for Neon's fast punches. Sky or KO for flashes and healing to support Neon's aggressive entries. Jett or Phoenix to capitalize on the chaos Neon creates. Best counters. Cypher. His tripwires can slow down or completely stop Neon's high-speed rushes. Breach. His crowd control abilities can disrupt Neon's movement and force her out of position. Raze. Her explosive abilities can punish Neon's aggressive pushes, especially when Neon tries to close the distance quickly. Overall difficulty. Medium to high difficulty. Neon's speed and mobility make her potent in the right hands, but mastering her abilities to avoid overcommitting and maintaining control can be challenging. ISO. Li Jiaoyu, or ISO, is a Chinese fixer for hire who goes into a flow state to dismantle the opposition. He is the most recent duelist added to the game. Abilities. Undercut. ISO throws a molecular bolt that slows and applies vulnerable to every enemy it touches. Contingency. It equips an indestructible wall of energy that blocks bullets. Double tap. Once activated, ISO gains a shield which negates one impact of damage from any source. In this state, ISO can gain the shield again after shooting an orb which appears near the enemies he kills. Ultimate. Kill Contract. ISO challenges the nearest enemy to a one-on-one duel in a separate dimension. During the duel, ISO and the targeted enemy are isolated from the rest of the game, unable to interact with other players until the duel ends. If ISO wins, he returns to the regular game. ISO needs 7 points for his ultimate. Playstyle. ISO's playstyle is all about isolation, sustainability, and aggressive dueling. His kit is designed to help him take and win one-on-one engagements, with abilities that support both offense and defense in duels. Players who enjoy taking calculated risks and dominating in head-to-head battles will find ISO to be a powerful and rewarding agent. Strengths. Strong dueling potential. Can isolate enemies effectively. Self-sustain with ability usage. Weaknesses. Vulnerable if abilities are misused. Limited utility for team play. Requires good aim and reflexes. Can struggle in team-based scenarios. Best team compositions. Astra or Omen for smokes and map control to help ISO isolate enemies. Sova or Fade to gather intel and set up ISO for favorable duels. Killjoy or Sage to lock down areas and assist ISO in holding positions. Sova. His recon abilities can reveal ISO's position, making it difficult for him to isolate duels. Killjoy. Her utility can force ISO out of cover and into unfavorable fights. Sky. Her flashes and healing can support teammates against ISO's duels and disrupt his engagements. Overall difficulty. Medium difficulty. ISO is effective in isolating and eliminating enemies, but requires precision and good decision-making to maximize his potential, especially in solo engagements. If you loved this video, make sure to subscribe and comment.